November 1st, 1943. The Northern Front. The frigid, iron-gray dawn of the Arctic Circle seeps into a shattered landscape. You can almost feel the freezing wind, a razor's edge slicing across the snow-dusted rocks and skeletal remains of pine trees. This is the Soviet-German front line near the vital port of Murmansk, and for weeks, it has been locked in a silent, deadly paralysis. Not by grand offensives or tank battles, but by ice, mud, and fear. In this sector, that fear has a name, Obersturmführer Erich Kahn. A ghost in a white parka. A Wehrmacht sniper of such chilling proficiency that he has effectively pinned down an entire battalion of the Soviet 14th Rifle Division. For 3 weeks, his rifle, a high-precision Mauser Kar 98K with a Zeiss scope, has dictated the rhythm of life and death. No movement by day goes unpunished. A man lighting a cigarette, an officer peering through binoculars, a cook running between slit trenches, each has been met with the distant, almost polite crack of a 7.92 mm round, followed by the delayed echo rolling across the tundra. The Soviet advance here hasn't just stalled, it has bled out, one carefully aimed shot at a time. Morale isn't just low, it's frozen solid. The men whisper about the Teufel mit dem Fernrohr, the devil with the telescope. They move like crabs, hunched and terrified, only under the cover of the perpetual twilight or the brief, concealing storms. But on this morning, a new presence slips into the Soviet forward position. His name is Corporal Fyodor Okhlopkov, a Yakut hunter conscripted from the Siberian taiga. He moves with a preternatural stillness, his eyes, accustomed to tracking sable across miles of silent forest, scanning the German lines. He is not alone. With him is his spotter, a young, grim-faced soldier named Vasily, who carries not just a telescope, but the battalion commander's desperate, unspoken order, kill the ghost. Free us. Okhlopkov settles into a prepared nest, a coffin-shaped hollow in the rock and permafrost. He ignores the standard-issue Mosin-Nagant he's been issued. Instead, he unwraps his own tool from an oiled cloth, a Russian M1891/30 sniper rifle, its stock worn smooth by generations of use in his village. It feels less like a weapon and more like an extension of his own senses. Vasily peers through the scope, sweeping the opposite ridge, a jagged line of black rock 900 yards away, well beyond what any Soviet sniper manual considered a reasonable engagement range. Hours pass. The cold becomes a living thing in their bones. Then, Vasily stiffens. His whisper is a ghost of steam in the air. Movement. 10 o'clock. Below the broken rock spire. A flash, lens flare. Okhlopkov's world shrinks to the circle of his own scope. He sees nothing but rock and shadow. Kahn is a professional. He revealed himself for a fraction of a second, a mistake no ordinary marksman would make. But it was a calculated taunt. A message: I am here. I see you. Try your luck. And in that moment, Corporal Fyodor Okhlopkov understands the true battle. It is not just about ballistics or wind drift. It is a duel of patience, of will, of two predators waiting for the other to blink first. The fate of hundreds of men, and the momentum of the entire local front, now rests on which hunter can outthink, outendure, and outshoot the other across a kilometer of frozen hell. For 3 more days, the frozen dance continues. Okhlopkov and Vasily become creatures of the ice, their breath the only sign of life. They learn the rhythm of the German lines, the relief of sentries, the rare glint of a mess tin, the predictable patrols Kahn uses as background noise for his own hidden movements. Okhlopkov's mind works not in terms of fear, but in the ancient calculus of the hunt. Wind, temperature, humidity, the Earth's very rotation, all are variables in an equation that ends with a bullet's impact. At 1,000 yards, nearly 0.6 of a mile, the margin for error is 0. A breeze he cannot feel on his cheek will push the bullet dozens of feet off target. The bullet itself, the heavy 7.62 x 54 mmr round, will have dropped over 300 feet in its flight, arcing like a tiny, deadly moon. Vasily's notebook fills with scribbled data. 0900, wind left to right, estimated 4 meters per second. 1220, Light snow, visibility reduced. Mirage effect on southern rocks. They are not just looking for a man, they are building a meteorological profile of a killing zone. On the fourth day, Kahn makes his second move. A Soviet messenger, foolishly taking a direct route between trenches, stumbles and falls. The shot that was meant for his heart only tears through his pack. The crack of the rifle arrives a full 2 seconds later. Vasily, his eye welded to the spotting scope, doesn't see the muzzle flash. He sees something else. The crows, he whispers, his voice raw. Near the base of the ridge, at 2 o'clock. They startled upwards. Okhlopkov's gaze shifts. A small murder of black birds had been pecking at something unseen in a scrub-filled draw. They didn't flare out horizontally, as they would from a ground-level disturbance. They lifted vertically, spooked by something emerging from below. Kahn wasn't on the ridge. He was in front of it. In a cave or a dugout so perfectly camouflaged it was invisible. The realization is electric. Kahn has been shooting from a hidden forward position, then retreating into the earth to reload, observe, and remain undetectable. His range to target isn't 900 yards. It's over 1,000. Okhlopkov feels a flicker of respect for the German skill, quickly extinguished by colder resolve. He now knows the hunter's den. But knowing its location and hitting its occupant are worlds apart. Firing at the dark mouth of a cave is a waste of ammunition. They must draw Kahn out, make him present a target in that lethal doorway. Okhlopkov formulates a plan. It is brutal in its simplicity. It requires a sacrifice, and he will not order it. He explains it to Vasily, who pales then nods. The young spotter crawls back to the command post through the icy trenches. An hour later, a carefully staged performance begins. At a distant point on the Soviet line, well away from Okhlopkov's nest, 2 soldiers rise as if in argument, waving their arms. It is a pantomime of carelessness. One, a volunteer named Anatoly, wears a borrowed officer's coat. He is a perfect silhouette against the snow. The distant crack echoes across the front. Anatoly cries out, clutching his arm, a wound stage with pre-packed rags and animal blood, and drops into a trench. The performance is flawless. To any observer, especially one relying on a scope from a kilometer away, it is a clear hit. A kill, even. Okhlopkov's entire being focuses on the black slit of the cave mouth. He is betting everything on a sniper's psychology. On professional pride. On the instinct to confirm a kill. Kahn will have seen the man fall. He will wait, watching for chaos, for the retrieval party, for the proof of his work. And then, he will likely risk a final, confirming glance. The minutes stretch. Okhlopkov's finger rests alongside the trigger guard. His world is the circle of his scope, the gentle rise of the rifle as he breathes in, the settling as he breathes out. He is a statue of ice and intent. Then, a shadow within a shadow. A subtle, fractional shift in the darkness of the cave. Not a man, but the faintest circular glint, the objective lens of a scope, angled upward, surveying the aftermath of the shot. It is all he will get. A reflection from a hidden eye. In that fragment of a second, the universe contracts for Fyodor Okhlopkov. The glint is not a target, it is a point in space, a promise of what lies behind it. Every calculation of the past 4 days, the wind charts, the temperature logs, the bullet drop tables, crystallizes into pure, instinctive action. He does not jerk the trigger. He invites the shot. His breathing stills in the pause between exhale and inhale. The crosshairs in his PU scope do not rest on the glint. He aims at a point in empty darkness 6 inches to its left, accounting for a wind he can no longer feel but knows is there. His finger applies steady, increasing pressure. The world narrows to the touch of cold steel against his skin. The report of the Mosin-Nagant is a sharp, shocking violation of the silent landscape. The rifle kicks against his shoulder. The spent cartridge spins away, steaming as it hits the snow. Then nothing. Absolute, deafening silence presses in. For 2.5 seconds the bullet is in flight, a piece of lead and copper tracing a high, parabolic arc across the tundra. Okhlopkov remains frozen in his firing position, his eye never leaving the scope, his body braced for either result. Vasily holds his breath, his spotting scope fixed on the cave mouth. The impact is invisible at this distance. There is no dramatic spray of blood, no cry that could carry a kilometer. But Vasily sees the glint vanish. He sees the subtle, wrong movement in the shadows, a slump, a downward slide. Hit! Vasily whispers, the word torn from him. Movement ceased. No sign of activity. Confirmation comes not from their position, but from the German lines. For a full minute, nothing changes. Then, a faint whistle echoes from the enemy ridge. A flare, green and urgent, arcs into the sky. Then another. Shouted orders, muffled by distance, become audible. The careful, dormant rhythm of Kahn's sector breaks into visible, scrambling chaos. Okhlopkov slowly, stiffly, lowers his rifle. He feels no triumph, only a profound, hollow exhaustion. The immense psychic weight of the hunt lifts, leaving him cold to his marrow. He has not killed a monster, he has outshot a master. The distinction matters. Back in the Soviet trenches, the change is seismic. Word spreads like a current through the permafrost. The Yakut got the devil. Men who had been crouching for weeks dare to lift their heads. A cautious patrol is sent forward, meeting no fire. By nightfall, scouts confirm the unbelievable. The forward German position in the draw has been abandoned. A single, precise retreat. But the true revelation comes at dawn. Through binoculars, Soviet officers watch as the German forces on the adjacent heights begin a coordinated, tactical withdrawal. It is not a rout, but a deliberate unraveling. The linchpin holding this segment of the line has been removed. Without Kahn's terrifying oversight, without his ability to dominate no man's land, the exposed German foothold is untenable. Their local superiority, built entirely on one man's skill, has evaporated. The battle for the sector is over without another major shot being fired. A 1,000-yard trigger pull has cascaded into a strategic reversal. For the men of the 14th Rifle Division, it feels like a thaw. The sky itself seems lighter. Okhlopkov accepts the quiet handshakes, the odd backslaps. He cleans his rifle meticulously. When his commander recommends him for the title of Hero of the Soviet Union, he nods quietly, thinking not of medals, but of the clean shot, the solved equation, and the distant, dark mouth of a cave that now holds only a silent story. He had come to free a battalion from a ghost. He did it with a single, impossible bullet. And in the brutal arithmetic of war, that one bullet was worth more than 1,000.